Hi Lumineers, welcome to the Lighter Side Show. I'm your host, Jamie Butler, the Everyday Medium. Today we have Laura Boone back in house with us.
Hi everybody.
She's here to talk to us about gridding with using crystals, protecting, cleaning your home, your space, your office, your bedroom, your yard. We're going to give a few examples, but first I have a few housekeeping notes. We do have a lot of events going on here at the Center for Love and Light, which is just next door. So please check out our website at withloveandlight.com. Also, I have a few online classes happening. Last Friday of February, online is the intermediate class. So we bump it up a little bit. I love my online classes because you can be wherever you want to be. And I send out a little care package, which some of the students are nicknaming a spiritual swag bag. And you get all the little trinkets and instruments that you need to kind of progress your spiritual alignment, understanding your intuition, communicating to energy, entities, spirit guides, and so forth. If you enjoy all of that, you can come to Atlanta March 24th weekend, and we're going to have the Advanced Mediumship class here in Atlanta at the Center for Love and Light.
Awesome.
I'm very excited about this one.
It's really cool, you guys.
Because number one, Colleen's going to hug everybody. She has made that promise. And you're going to learn how to channel. So anything trans-channeling, channeling loved ones, guides, entities, and help you get back out into the world and use this gift that you have every day. It's a natural ability. I believe we have the right to use it every single day. So Lumineers, I'm so glad you're back and
Yay.
with my Laura Boone.
Hi, I'm so happy to be back.
Yay!
You know, I'm a Lumineer too.
Yes.
I'm a
I
Lumineer.
like these glasses.
Thank you.
You're so cute. And you got all your crystal wear.
Yeah, I'm a crystal girl.
That
Can you
is
tell?
true. I love, like, every time
I have
you
them
show
everywhere.
up,
You
you
should
have
see my house.
pieces. Her house is like a museum of crystals.
Crystals everywhere. Yeah, I love them.
Okay, why
you
do you
can't
love
have
them?
too many. Well, you know, crystals, first of all, they're just pretty. But
From a woman's standpoint, right there.
right? They're just
pretty.
pretty. But what I found after, I don't know, I had some experiences with them.
Okay, you're crinkling your face up as you're saying
Some
this.
experiences where I feel them at times. I know that sounds woo-woo, but it's true.
Oh, girl, are you speaking my language or what?
Yeah.
But wait, before you dive into
Yeah.
this, we didn't
Yeah.
really say that Laura Boone is an astrologer, a tarot reader. She does readings, like mixed, I would want to call it like mixed media readings, really. You know,
That's a
if we
good
had
mixed
a word
psychic
for-
media.
Yeah, mixed psychic media.
That's funny.
Because she channels, she's a medium, she's an empath, she's clairvoyant. And so when you're sitting with her, she kind of does all of this,
Yeah.
you know, in a mixed format. And it's
I do
incredible.
a lot of different things. Astrology, tarot, like she said, I'm clairvoyant, clairsentient. And, you know, it just kind of falls right into place. As I was doing all that, I started just sort of being around crystals, because a lot of people who do this sort of thing are around crystals. I didn't really understand it.
Right, so when she says she's having an experience with a crystal, that's because she has these abilities. It wasn't like being on Tinder and you're swiping crystals and like, nope, left, right.
Yeah, I've had some very interesting experiences with crystals, but and I can tell some of those stories. But what I think we're both really here today to do is to kind of demystify the crystal.
I would love that.
The crystal interest, craze, whatever you want to call it. It's not even a craze, you guys. It's been around since human beings have been around. The knowledge about crystals has been built over centuries, and people have used it for healing. They've used it for protection. They've used it for jewelry. They've used it for just beauty.
Mechanics as well, because some are
my
magnetic,
science.
some, yes.
God, well, all of our iPhones have crystals in them. You know, it's really amazing. Yeah.
I was going to mention this kind of gridding thing is learning how to take the energetic vibration of the crystal and put it into an equation to get what you need out of it.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm hoping you're going to touch on today, there are relationships between different types of crystals and their energy.
Yes.
And especially relationships to where you're placing them.
Yes. I mean, the theory behind crystals, and there's a lot of research about this, and it can get really scientific. I'm not going to get really scientific. But, they're all made up of different molecular codes. So because of that, the belief is that they have different energy auras or different energy frequencies, if you will, and that they're all. There's a beautiful book by Melody. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of her, but it's sort of one of the quintessential crystal Bibles. But she called it Love is in the Earth. And, the earth is really made up of crystals and all types of minerals. And we are made up of all types of minerals too. So the theory is that it's all a part of the same substance, and we all have subtle energy and subtle light energy, and so do crystals. And, as I know Jamie does a lot of these sorts of topics on her show, she talks about intention and she talks about energy. And you can really, when people say you work with crystals, different crystals have different properties, but when you work with them, you really use, crystals are believed to be here to help us. Just like food is here to help us, right? Or the stars are here to help us. I am an astrologer. So crystals are really here to help us, and you work with them by really setting your intentions with them and asking them to help you, and then they'll work with you.
So
that's what we're going to talk about.
Talk about us. Do you mean strictly just human beings, or can this be used with your animals? Can it be used with your garden, your plant life? Is it us as an all, or us as in the people?
I think us as an all.
I love hearing that.
I mean, any living thing, we're all a part of the same energy and the same family.
And I love when you were mentioning that they have different properties.
Yes.
They do. When you're seeing energetic fields and you're looking off the crystals, they absolutely have different energetic patterns, colors, and for each, I call it make and model. Kind of, so to break it down, you can think about cars. I always relate a lot to cars. Not that I'm a big fan, but I do like cars. But that it gives
Jamie,
you a concept.
you actually see. I know you're very sensitive to auras and subtle light energy.
Yes.
So I am more empathic. I'm more emotional. So I actually feel them. Right? Isn't that interesting?
Like, if we ever paired up in superhuman powers, we'd be like we'd be the perfect combo.
I feel them, but she sees them, and I love that you can see the different energies around them.
Yeah, it's really, really pretty.
Right?
So let's get into...
For those of you who can't feel them or see them yet, there are books. Yay! These are great books, you guys. There are so many
Judy
books.
Hall. Gotta give it to you.
Yeah.
Love you.
Judy Hall wrote a series, she calls them the Crystal Bibles, but not to be confused with the other Bible that I grew up with too, but it's just essentially a dictionary of all the stones and what their properties are and what you can use them for. So it's science as well as what some of the historic research that's metaphysical that's been done with crystals. But there are 3 of these books, you guys, and it's
Incredible.
so
that just
easy.
Gives you
pictures.
A quick glance of how many variations there are.
Yeah, and you can pick up a stone and you can identify it visually, because sometimes you don't know what it is, but you can research them by blue stones or green stones.
Yes.
So this is a really great resource.
That is a good thing that you mentioned the book, because
Yes.
like you said, not a lot of people actually have the empathic connection to crystals or can visually see them, but I'm telling you, there is something there. Like, you can pick up a crystal and keep it with you and physically feel changes. Mm-hmm. And I think when I say physically feel changes, I'm not talking like fireworks exploding, but kind of how you feel when the wind brushes against your skin. There's a difference there, and you can identify it, and you can do that with crystals.
Yeah, and I know we're going to talk about, we each brought a few of our favorites today. And, there are thousands of crystals and so much knowledge around this, but, start small, start basic, and start, we both love saying this. There's not a rule about this. A lot of times it's what you're attracted to.
Yes.
Is, go with your gut, go with your intuition and your instinct, and what's pretty to you, what's attractive to you. And 100% of the time, that's going to be what you need at the moment and what's
Absolutely.
good for you.
And it could sound like this when you're at the store. Ooh, oh my God. There you go. You made it a connection.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Done.
Crystals can connect with you, but we're going to talk about some basic crystals that are affordable and prevalent, okay? And some of my favorites, and do you want to talk about gridding first?
Yes. Can we pick 3 rooms.
Yeah, let's
or
talk about
3
gridding
places
first.
for gridding.
And let's talk about what gridding actually is. You know, the word grid means a grid. And the reason people have applied it to crystals is because you make geometry with the stones. So you can use big stones, but a lot of times when people grid, I brought some of these.
Size does not matter.
Size does not matter. You can use small.
Get your head out of the gutter, guys. Size does not matter. Get excited about that.
Yeah, you can use little small stones for gridding. That's what I like to do.
They're easier to hide too.
They're easier to hide. You can buy these at a crystal store. You know, they're very inexpensive.
You can get them online at Amazon.
You sure can. That's
By the
right.
pound.
You can get them online. One of my favorite stones. You can use any stone to grid with, but one of my absolute favorites and a big favorite for protection gridding, like if you want to protect your property, protect a room in your home, protect your bedroom, is black tourmaline.
Big time.
Black tourmaline. We've got different sizes of black tourmaline here. This is just a go-to stone. I've got little itty bitty ones, and then we've got bigger ones. I have a chunk of this on my bedside table. Okay, I love this. And what black tourmaline is known for, it's a grounding stone, which means I like to call it, it's like a spiritual air filter. Okay, these are hardy stones that literally protect you from negativity and pull negativity out of your space and out from around you. You know, a lot of times people talk about cleaning crystals. You can clean black tourmaline, but it is a stone that is known for not even needing to be cleaned. And there are different ways to clean a stone. Let's just go through that real quick.
Right, when she says that the black tourmaline doesn't need to be cleaned much because one of its attributes is that it recycles that energy that it's pulling out of the air. Mm-hmm. So it's changing and manifesting it in a different way. But some stones are more like sponges where they pull in the environment and they hold it for you.
Yes.
And that's when it would require cleaning. And I think you would be able to identify that by either the calendar, sun calendar or moon calendar, or identifying that when you come across the crystal, you kind of just don't go, ooh, you go, yeah, it's a little thick or it has a little something, and then you can go ahead and clean it.
Cleaning typically is, I like to use just simple water. I like to use sunlight. I like to use moonlight, especially.
Full moonlight.
Oh my goodness, full moonlight.
That's my favorite.
They get a bath. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but I put my crystals out during a full moon and it just makes me so happy, and I feel it makes them happy too.
That's when my family says my witch comes out. Because I'm like, oh, it's a full moon, it's a harvest moon. I'm like, oh, I'm going to collect
all the crystals.
I even do my plants and I'll kind of just line them up.
Yeah.
And there's something that's so lovely about care providing for your space that way and the things that you're being responsible for.
Yeah.
Isn't that why we have items, whether they're knickknacks or plants or decorations or artwork, is that you love and you care for them. And this is one way that you care for your crystals.
Yeah.
I will say with water,
Yes.
double check, make sure your crystal is not water soluble.
That's right.
Like kyanite is water soluble.
Selenite is water soluble. Selenite's a big, we actually have some selenite. It's a wonderful stone, but do not put water on it. She's absolutely right.
It will dissolve.
Yes. The other thing to be, you know, some people actually make elixirs, like they use the water after their stones have been in the water. I think that's a wonderful thing to do, but there are stones that are poisonous when they're in water. Malachite is one of them. Yellow stones, and I know malachite is a fabulous stone, but you don't want to have, you know, touch it. Like I'll wash my hands after I touch this malachite. Did you know that about malachite?
No, I did not. I learn something new every time I'm with you, Laura Boone.
And yellow, it's interesting, yellow stones, like a bumblebee jasper.
I need to stop kissing them, is what you're telling me.
Listen, nobody's going to get sick, but I mean, if you were constantly touching this, you could have a reaction. So, but this is one of my all-time favorites, but you just have to be careful and absolutely don't drink the water if you've washed this.
Guys, don't worry. Like, you will do the research before you do this.
There's very few stones like that, but I think it's important to talk about the few that are like that. But yeah, so we talked about, yeah,
One
go
of my
ahead.
favorite ways of cleaning, do you know those platters that you can get at the grocery store that have vegetables and, the carrots, the broccoli, the celery, and the dipping spot in the middle? I keep those and clean it out, and then I pour table salt all in
Salt.
it. And then I have a lot of tumbled crystals. That means that they've been taken and put into a
Like these?
process where they're smooth and round. Doesn't make them less than, they're just easier to carry and they're pretty and soft. And I tuck them into the salt and I leave them overnight, and then I fish them out the next day or sometimes 3 days later, and then put them back in my display bowls or where I keep them.
All kinds of salts have amazing energy cleaning properties.
Yes.
So that's what she's talking about. So she's using that salt cleaning property with the stones.
It's like using
can
one
also-
crystal to heal the other crystal.
That's right. And you can also use salts for energy cleaning for yourself. And that's why salt baths are so
Yes.
good for us energetically, to clean yourself energetically. Putting salt in a bath is just one of the most simple. Water is the same way. Just taking a bath is good for your energy, but if you add salt to it, it's even better. So
Yeah.
we're the same way.
I got so excited, I was about to ask you if you wanted to go take a bath with me, and then I realized it's probably inappropriate. But maybe one day, Lord,
Sure.
who knows?
Listen, sure.
I was like, God, that's something that I could really resonate with.
It's awesome. Guys, that's what they do. We didn't come up with this. This is ancient.
It's
And
been
they
going on
have
for a
these
long
beautiful natural salt baths. Like I know in Asia, like in Japan, they have amazing baths that are natural that you can get in. And people have always felt like they had healing properties or spiritual properties. It's the same.
Or even check online, see if there's a Korean spa near you. Here we have Jeju, and they have these huts where they have taken one specific crystal or even several and put them all up on the walls and on the floors, so that when you walk in, you're being completely surrounded by it, and it's temperature controlled, all that vibration around you.
fantastic.
It's incredible.
It's fantastic. So I guess back to gridding. So we talked about you can use these stones in a grid, and the reason that in an ancient way they say that works is that it creates sacred geometry. And I know Jamie does it a little bit different than me, and I love how she does it, and I want to learn a little bit more about how she does it. She uses directions, which, can you talk about that in a minute? How
Sure.
you use directions?
Yes.
I will tell you how I do it. I use squares, and then, so in other words, I will take a property and I will do the four corners of the property, and I actually like to just bury the stones in the four corners of the property. I love
It's true. I've seen her haul around a little shovel to make sure that she can bear it
in a
properly.
dress with
In a
really
dress.
awesome shoes on.
Absolutely.
And I will go dig
Boone style.
Boone style, and I will bury my stones, and the neighbors are walking their dogs going,
Looking
yeah,
at her like, well,
like I'm
she's,
crazy.
she doesn't
Pray.
look like a thief, but
Or a witch. Got my suit on to go to work. But anyway, I buried black tourmaline, and I brought, I don't know if I brought, oh, ta-da. The other fabulous two stones that I like to bury in a yard are Sardonyx, which kind of looks like this, only it's a little more mottled. That protects from crime, you guys. Isn't that interesting? It's a good boundary stone. And then aventurine, which is a green stone. I didn't bring any today, but it's called aventurine. Aventurine. And that helps your plants. It's really
Oh,
good for
how
growth in
nice.
your yard.
it's
So
a really good heart stone.
it's a
as
green
well.
stone, right? Thank you. You're
And
so
I
good
love
at chakras.
using that for energy of healing, forgiveness, and growth. So that's really
It's
neat to know
really
that it's good for plants.
It's good for plants. So I make my little 3 stones of Sardonyx, black tourmaline, and aventurine, and I plant it in the 4 corners of people's yards or my yard. And then I
Just
take,
random people's yards.
yeah, I don't, a word to the wise, only bury stones in people's yards with their permission. Not that I haven't been busted for anything like that before. But anyway, won't go there.
I think there's truth under that.
Yeah. So then I like to, I almost do it like concentric circles, concentric squares when I grid. So I do my 4 corners of a property. I do 4 corners of my house, so the 4 furthest corners of my house, and then I come in and I'll do special rooms. So I may do my living room with 4 corners. I absolutely do the bedroom. That is, to me, one of the most important rooms to grid in a home, because when we sleep, we are very vulnerable energetically. So that's a lot of times where we need the biggest filter or protection, if you will, from energy. So I do the 4 corners of a bedroom. I do the 4 corners underneath my mattress.
That's where I go there. I think of that more so than the 4 corners of the bedroom.
Yeah.
And I like how you remind me to think big, because I look at that bed as like every person's private church. It is the biggest sanctuary that anybody could have.
And
you're the most vulnerable
energetically when you sleep. And the other thing too, Jamie, you've probably done this, but I think it makes it even more powerful. If you have a light fixture over your bed, I put one above in the center of the room. So it creates, again, we're talking about sacred geometry, and it creates a pyramid when you do that. And that's the energy, it's like a pinball, you guys, if you can think of how this works. The energy, they talk to each other and they work in a sacred geometry. Yeah. So when you make a pyramid, it's really powerful.
Colleen and I talked a lot about pyramids in the Talisman and Amulets episode.
Did you?
And the power that it holds and how it can pinpoint and direct energy in such a clean and specific way. So if you're consciously gridding the room, I can see where that would be phenomenal in healing.
Yes.
Fighting insomnia.
Yes.
Rest, relationship,
protection.
My brain is going. Okay, now when you say protection, can you define that for us?
Yes.
Because I think the first place I go to is protection. I'm defending something. I got to protect myself from germs or other things. And so it's it's a really strong thing, but
it's really, I think it's protection from negative energy. Gosh, I almost think it's universal, but I know a lot of people have the experience of bad dreams or feeling like there's something in their room, or feeling, how about this? All the energy that you've had all day, we're like sponges, you guys. We're like lint rollers. We're like Swiffers. We're like human Swiffers. And we walk through the world all day and we're picking up all this negative energy. And it's so nice when you walk into that little pyramid of black tourmaline. It's like, ooh, it just helps you clear all of that as you sleep. And it also helps you not let negative entities intrude into your space, or just noise into your space that's energetic. You want a place of peace, and a place with boundaries, and a place where you can rest and restore. So I think tourmaline especially is very restorative. And the other amazing stone to have in your bedroom, Jamie has such a pretty one here, is rose quartz. This is just, it's a love stone, and it's very restorative, and it's almost like black tourmaline cleans everything, and rose quartz replaces it with love, replaces it with good feeling. So I just love having all these stones.
I'm enjoying listening
in a bedroom.
Listening to you state that when you're laying the stones with boundaries and for reasons, that you're setting an intent.
Yes.
And if you're setting an intent consciously, that just adds more to what the crystal is about to do for you, for your space, for everything around it.
And what you're saying, I just want to say this out loud to everybody. This is not rocket science. There's not a voodoo spell you have to use. It's not about that, you guys. It's just about intention. You have power. All of you have power to work with these stones. These stones are here to help you. So all you have to do is be willing. All you have to do is ask. And when she says set intentions, there's so much power. We could do 5 shows on setting intentions and where do you want to set intentions. That's all you have to do, and then they begin to work for you. So it's asking them and setting an intention. I want my house protected. I want my bedroom protected. Guys, there is not a child's room out there that doesn't need a grid in it, because those sweet souls are so open, and they don't have the consciousness yet to, willfully have better boundaries. They're not mature enough yet.
Or even to know, to think, to have that, even, as an experience. But what if we don't have a chandelier or hanging light in our bedroom? Is there another way that we can get that pyramid shape style gridding with the bed or the
Well,
four corners of the bedroom?
One thing I do. First of all, let's talk about this. Let's talk about some practical things.
Okay.
Like small children, cats.
Oh, can I add vacuum cleaner into
Thank
that
you.
one?
Vacuum cleaners. These I use Scotch tape. Okay, how metaphysical and woo woo is that? Get some Scotch tape and tape it. Hide it under the baseboards. Hide it. Tape it to the ceiling, guys. Tape it somewhere to make your shape. It's not rocket science. Again, use Scotch tape. Put it under rugs.
Under rugs.
Under
if you
rugs.
even have can lighting, the frame pops out around the can
Yes.
lighting. Most likely your tumbled stones will just flip right up onto the upper side of the ceiling and then put the little frame
That's a
back on.
great idea. That's a great idea. Also, guys,
Give us a little shake again. I gotta get... That's how you know when she's in the room.
it's like my cowbell. These are all stones, you guys. Again, this isn't rocket science. I have black spinel, I have black tourmaline on, I have white agate, I've got amethyst. I've got a lot of these stones, and you can put them in your pocket, you can put them in your purse. I have shungite. There's a stone found in Russia called shungite that is good for magnetic, like geopathic magnetic stress. And it's great for cell phone. It clears like cell phone usage and things like that. And I just keep it in my purse at all times, right? I use smoky, I have smoky quartz. I didn't bring any today, but it's very common. You can find it in any store. You can certainly get it online really cheaply.
Easily.
I call it it relieves stress and calms anger. Road rage stone. I have it right there in my dash. My nieces get in my car and they're like, Aunt Laura, why do you have
You're
that?
like, don't touch that, leave it there.
Yeah, I need to hold it if I'm yelling at them though. Oh, let me touch that. Calm down. But it's a good road rage stone. What were you talking about one day? You were like, do you have any little ones you could just throw in someone's car when they're honking on the horn?
When they're flipping you off
might
because they
get
have
you
their
in
window
trouble.
down. I was like, can you you just start throwing smoky quartz
throw
at
it in
them.
Those are great for people that are really stressed out. If you're stressed out, if you're dealing with anxiety, smoky quartz.
But you mentioned geopathic stress lines.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, you talk about that.
no, I wanted to see if you explain it because then we can talk a little bit about ley lines because this also helps with
You know more
ridding
about
the
ley
home.
lines than I do. I've seen, I want to learn from, you need to teach a class with the dowsing and talk to them about that because I love that.
Well, thank
With
you.
the dowsing rods.
No, I love dowsing rods.
And directional gridding. Can you talk about
Yes.
that a little bit? Because I think it all sort of is together, right?
Yeah, for me, I think when I watch Laura Boone work, she is looking at kind of how the man has made humankind has made the nest on the land.
Our structures.
Yeah, and so she really provides for all those structures and how we interact with them. And I guess the way that I've viewed it or how I taught myself was looking at the land because I naturally see energy. I can see patterns in the air and I can see ley lines and how energy moves on the earth. This will happen for some of you Lumineers if you've ever seen little white sparkles in a straight line streaming, moving from left to right. Sometimes you'll see them curve and dip and move. This could be you seeing ley lines. Sometimes ley lines are the energetic lines in the earth that have an abundant amount of energy. And if they're crossing or moving through your bed, a lot of times you're not going to get a great night's sleep. And not all of us have the luxury of moving a bed because our bedrooms are so small. Mm-hmm. So we have to get in there and we can use crystals and gridding, all of this to change the way the energy is moving through the bed, the earth energy, geopathic energy lines or veins, arteries of the earth, so that we can get a peaceful night's rest. And we can do that in other places in the house. Mm-hmm. And it also changes the energy that the earth holds, like if there was something historical that happened on the land. A lot of cases we look at throughout history where there was war, massacre, devastation, there are very thick, heavy, energetic vortexes or ley lines. And so when we're not consciously aware that that is kind of playing into how we're feeling or reacted, and sometimes it can really trigger us to just kind of get big and go off the handle. And that's why sometimes these great historical devastations or wars happen on these specific locations. And if you are buying that property and you're unaware, and then all of a sudden you don't understand while you're irritated or frustrated, or you're burnt out, you know, your creativity is out the door, you're just struggling every day, it can be something from like this, which gritting can
really help.
completely clear the slate.
And also, I'm very respectful of the Native American culture here in the United States, who they came up with a lot of ways to honor the land and clear the land using direction,
Yes.
which I think is amazing. I haven't studied it as much as I know you have, just in terms of you lay stones sometimes based on
North, east, south, west.
right.
Yes.
And I think that's another way. Here's why I love being on the show with Jamie, and I love working with Jamie, because we both come together and neither one of us is wrong. We're both right, and we're both bringing our individual experiences and knowledge to how to do this. It's because, again, guys, it's not an exact science. It's science and how you work with it.
And it's not competitive.
No.
It doesn't, ever go against. It's complementary.
It's complementary.
Each way we see it, we're getting the same outcome out of it.
And you can do that too, is what I'm getting to.
Big time.
All of you can bring your own individual way of doing this, and it's not wrong. If you set the right intention, it'll all help. So that's one thing I really want to make sure everybody understands. Because it just gets better together.
It
right?
does. So we talked about bedroom,
Yes.
and you picked your favorite stones for the bedroom. And you talked to us about the four corners of a property.
Yes.
Like really protecting, even naming, what was the stone that kind of prevents crime?
Sardonyx. Sardonyx. Isn't that amazing?
Amazing.
The other really fun thing to do, I use stones in my office. I love natural citrine. A lot of people have the orange citrine that is actually amethyst that's been heated and chemically treated, which isn't a bad thing, but it's not real natural citrine. So that's a good thing to know. Natural citrine is not orange. It's almost like clear quartz, but yellow. It has a real light yellow. And that is an abundance stone, you guys. Like citrine, you just want to have it everywhere. It's so wonderful.
Why do you like citrine so much?
I love it. Citrine is very calming, but it's an expanding stone. So one of the best places to put citrine in your office, in your home, doesn't matter. This is a little bit feng shui, but when you walk in the door, it's the further left corner of the structure. Put your citrine there, and that really helps with abundance. But you can't put citrine really in a bad place. The only place I wouldn't want to put citrine is next to, just if you're into feng shui at all, is next to like a sink or a toilet, because they say that the water flushing, it means that the money can flush, or you can.
It takes away all your abundance and it moves it out and away from you.
That's right.
So that's
I
exactly
would.
what you want to do.
You don't want it to go out, so I wouldn't put my natural citrine in a bathroom or next to a tub or a toilet or a sink.
And citrine has a great vibration that matches solar plexus, which goes along with knowledge, play, creativity.
Yes.
And it also relates to me. And it's a great thing to hear you say you like to put it in the abundance corner, because I'm all about putting self first, because Lumineers, self first is not selfish.
No.
It is true. Take care of yourself first, and then you have enough energy to take care of everybody else.
Yeah. I love that. I love that you see. So I don't think of this enough, but it's another great way to work with crystals, and that is with chakras and the color chakras.
Oh, big time.
And so she really knows a lot about that. And I know I saw her do this once at a home where she went into their bedroom and did the chakra stones. When they lay on the bed, she did the different colors of the stones. And guys, again, like, you can read about and get real detailed about what each stone does, but a green stone is your heart chakra.
Yeah, typically it's heart.
You know, pink is, like, she knows this more than I do.
Typically heart. Like,
That's
you
right.
can visually get a
can just
guideline
look
of the
at the
rainbow
stones.
and look at what vibrational quality it is. But
That's
there's
right.
a few, that kind of translate in different ways.
Yeah, for sure. Another stone I want to talk about, because I do psychic work, I do channeling, as you've seen her channel. A lot of people ask the question, if they're interested in that sort of thing, is how can I open myself to channeling more? How can I use crystals to help with my psychic or intuitive abilities?
Besides taping it to your forehead. Scotch tape, right? That was your
right.
number one instrument in tool and gridding. I'm just saying.
I'm too vain to Scotch tape crystals to my face. It would probably really get some cool
I'm
results.
Sorry. I've done it. I've walked
I love that. God, you rock.
Walked around with it taped straight to my forehead.
She's fearless.
Or
okay?
just not knowing.
Just go
either way.
after
You can
it.
go either way with that one.
Go after it, Jamie.
Which one?
I want to talk about, well, there's two that I love. Selenite is fabulous for channeling and just opening.
Heads up, just want to share, bought this one at Home Goods, right? That's just like your TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Ross. Bought it at
Selenite.
Home Goods for, I think, $14.99.
Yeah, selenite is
let me know.
so abundant, you guys, so it's very inexpensive. People, again, say this one more time because people make this mistake. Water, it's like salt. It's in the salt family, so selenite will dissolve, so don't wash it. But this is one of my very favorites, and we just found this in Jamie's office, and I have these around my home. This is called optical calcite, and a lot of these have other names too. I think this has another name too, but
Ukite.
is it called ukite? No, because I knew there were other names. One way I know it is optical calcite, and you can actually see rainbows in this, you guys. That's my little baby that I brought.
love it
And it's
so much.
polished.
It's beautiful.
This is not as
Mine's
polished,
smoky.
which I love. You can't really see it in the light, but guys, it almost looks like there's an oil slick in this. It's got a lot of colors in it. It's beautiful. This stone right here is an amazing channeling stone. Okay, so to keep this near you when you really want to channel or try to use your psychic abilities when you're doing tarot or astrology or doing a reading, if you're a light worker, optical calcite is just amazing.
Just reminder, Lumineers, size does not matter.
No.
So what's packed into this ice
Yeah,
cube
it doesn't
size
matter.
and this fist size is the same vibrational quality.
Yeah.
And it will enhance your energy the same way. We have to get out of the concept of this American bigger is better. It's not like that. It's not the person with the most money wins. It could be any size that you come across is going to work for you.
Yes.
So now they're selling chips today, chips of stones. Have you seen this?
No.
Yeah, the bags of just chips. They're almost crushed. Guess what? It belongs to that stone. It has the same vibrational quality. You're going to get the same results out of it.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and I just like to clean them is what I like to do when I first get them. Clean them with salt, clean them with water if they're not water soluble, and put them in the sunlight and the moonlight is really a great thing to do. But yeah, these are great stones. People put these selenite and optical calcite in any stone by their bed at night, but especially if you want to have great dreams or when you're meditating, these are great stones to have.
Great. These
near
are
you.
on either side of me when I meditate in the morning before my private sessions.
You do, yeah.
I
have
didn't
a lot.
even know that these enhance that part particularly. It's just I'm attracted to them, right? I did the initial, ooh, I like that, and I put it where I wanted to, and now she's like explaining to me exactly what they're for.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome. So you can really, just have fun with it. It's not anything you should worry, am I doing this wrong? Or do I need to say the right thing? Or do I need to think the right thing? It's really not like that. They're here to help you. And it's really more, like we said at the beginning, it's about intention.
And this is a great start for you guys, and we are so grateful. You've covered so much of details of stones, how to clean them, how to place them. It's not rocket science. Look at pyramid gridding,
Yes.
as well as gridding the actual four corners of the property. Or if you're more earth-centric, then you see things the way that I do, then grid them towards the directions. And I like that you brought a little hint of feng shui in there.
Yeah.
Maybe that can be our next episode.
I love that.
I think we can.
Feng shui's great. I love it. Yeah.
I'm going to
Let's do
keep
it.
stealing her back on the lighter side, even though she's going to have her own show here at the Lighter Side Network
I'm
coming
so
March
excited.
2017. It's so exciting.
I'm so excited. And we'd love your comments too, guys. Like, ask us what you want to hear more about, and we can do shows on it.
We can. So
Yeah.
leave your comments below. We do read them. And again, Lumineers, if you love Laura Boone, check out her website, lauraboone.org.
LauraBoone.org.
Definitely sign up for her blogs. I'm digging that. Guys, we hope you enjoyed gritting.
Thank you.
For
Love
being
you,
here and
Lumineers.
lending us your ear. And remember, it's not woo-woo.
It's true.
True. All of this is true.
Wonder Twin.